Hey, welcome back to World Entertainment, and Clayface is still on DCU's schedule, and according to David Zaslav, it should be coming out next year, along with Supergirl. Now, this movie is the one that I think they're going to kind of expect to be a big hit, that they can actually earn money from, because the reported budget is of around $40 million. However, there are a lot of issues going into it, and one of the things, of course, will be the fact that it's a Batman villain that won't have Batman, and that is getting very much confirmed in the story we're about to have a look at, because this is a big update with a lot of new details regarding what's in this movie, including the supporting cast. So we're going to have a look at this article, and it really kind of goes quite deep into what we can expect from this movie and what we should not expect in this movie. So let's have a look at this. So it's saying last month we learned that Welsh actor Tom Harris will play the lead character in DC Studios Clayface. The movie is based on a story by the fall of the House of Usher's Mike Flanagan, and the latest draft was penned by writer Hussein Amini, I think is how, I have no idea how you pronounce it, with Speak No Evil director James Watkins at the helm. Clayface was not among the projects announced by DC Studios at the start of 2023, making it a surprise addition to the Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. However, for James Gunn, it's all about story when it comes to which DC projects receive the green light, and this wouldn't fit the bill in the filmmaker and studio's executives' eyes. Of course, half the slate that they announced for Gods and Monsters have been cancelled now. So Nexus Point News has shared some additional details today, confirming that Clayface will revolve around Matt Hagen, with an amalgamation of his and Basil Carlo's comic book backstory. The site reveals that Hagen, so this is a big description of what we can expect in this, by the way. Hagen is a handsome, up-and-coming actor who's attacked and disfigured. Originally from Gotham, he moves to Hollywood to escape his troubled past and begin a career as an actor. With his disfigurement, his career and outlet as an actor is ruined and eventually transformed into a shape-shifting monster. So the first thing you notice about that part is he is originally from Gotham. So they've taken him out of Gotham and they've put him in LA. So it's saying in Clayface, Hagen's love interest will be Dr. Caitlin Bates, an original character created for the DCU. She's the CEO of a biotech startup seeking to create cutting-edge medicine and medical technology. Bates sees Hagen as a way to grow her company and cure his condition. Throughout the process, she falls in love with him, while her fiancé John grows suspicious of their relationship. As for John, he's a detective and committed to Caitlin and his job. Clayface's main antagonist will be an unnamed crime boss who, like Caitlin and John, will be a character created specifically for the movie. Unfortunately, it sounds like Clayface will be lacking connections to the wider DCU, as the site has learned that it will not feature any recognizable DC characters and will primarily consist of original characters. That means no Batman, and likely no surprise appearances from the Dark Knight's Rogue Gallery. So it's saying that's going to disappoint many fans, but if the movie takes place primarily in Hollywood, then there won't be much of an opportunity for us to encounter the likes of the Joker, Killer Croc and Scarecrow anyway. It's currently unclear how Clayface will explain the villain's presence in Creature Commandos. So, and then this just kind of goes on with stuff we've already heard before and all that type of crap. The fact that they are removing the character from Gotham and putting him into Hollywood, I think you're going to remove the actual comic book element from the movie, because they are specifically focusing on this being a body horror movie, and they've said that it's also meant to be R-rated and all that stuff. So the fact that you're going to take this character and you are making sure that there's no way the likes of Batman could show up. Or there people will be asking, hey, is the bat signal going to show up in this movie or something? Are they going to lean into... Well, clearly not. Now, by the end of the movie, he could very well end up back at Gotham, and that's where they tease it. But the fact that they're putting out a Clayface movie before they even have an idea for a Batman movie is insane. And I'm very curious now with what's happening at the box office with Superman. Doesn't matter what they're trying to say the numbers actually need to be and stuff like that. It's not opening to a strong start. I wonder how quickly Zaslav will make and force James Gunn into fast-tracking Batman. Not just the Batman, but the overall DCU's Batman. And again, the fact that you're trying to convince people, hey, come see this obscure character, villain character from the Batman world. Come watch him be on the big screen without Batman, without the connection to Gotham City, without any connection to the wider DCU. He's gonna be just a Hollywood actor that gets disfigured and becomes this hideous monster that can shapeshift. And all the other characters that are going to be around him are going to be made up specifically for this film. Which, that part, I don't particularly mind seeing, is the fact that you're going to have him out of the wider DCU and in Hollywood. So it would make sense that all of a sudden these characters, you know, from the comics and stuff, don't just randomly start showing up in this movie. That would be weird. You'd be like, the hell is going on? Like, why are they in LA? It's also weird that they want to actually take it and put it in LA. Very strange. But again, it seems to be just like this cost-cutting idea, realistically, because it's like, hey, we could shoot it in LA. It's going to cost us next to nothing. We don't have to rely on the likes of Batman and stuff, or setting up like a Gothic-style city and stuff, even though we have no idea what Gotham will look like in the DCU. But overall, it's going to be a weird one. And yes, it does bring up Creature Commandos. How are they going to explain his appearance in Creature Commandos? Because yes, Clayface did show up in Creature Commandos. I believe they also killed him in Creature Commandos. Either way, they'll probably say it was like his brother or his son, or it was the first test that went wrong, or some crap. There'll be something weird. Or they'll just completely ignore it, because they completely ignored Creature Commandos with Superman, where Rick Flag Sr. shows up. Not that he did much, but he's in there. He's also played, obviously, by Frank Grillo, who also voices him in Creature Commandos, except he seemed to play him in a completely different style from the character we met in Creature Commandos. So I would assume they would just ignore Creature Commandos and just make this thing its own thing. But overall, they are pretty much confirming now, because it's set in LA, there's definitely no Batman. There'll definitely be no other villains from the Rogue Gallery. No Jim Gordon, nothing like that. And probably no Gotham City either. It sounds like it's just going to be this low budget, body horror, R-rated movie that's based on this character. Because they've even said they don't particularly want it to be very comic booky. So we'll have to see what actually happens with this. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the Superman numbers. And if Supergirl doesn't work, I don't know whether or not they're going to be running into wanting to release this movie. We'll wait and see. But anyway, with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.